Greetings. I've been writing about leadership since 2002. I've been doing videos on this channel since 2011, I believe, and the majority have been on the topic of leadership. And one of the things that I find interesting throughout the years, like I said, I've written about it, I've done videos, I've done live presentations. One thing I've never been asked, and I've never really talked about, is how do you become a better leader? In other words, what would be the first thing that I would tell somebody they need to do to be a better leader? I've been asked situations, I've been asked about like groups, how to, get change, but never how to become a better leader. And I found that interesting because, you know what, I don't have to necessarily tell you all this, but there's not a lot of good leaders. Forget politicians because they have a reason to be what they want to be. I don't think that you can actually vote somebody in to be the best leader because it takes more than just them. They really don't have a lot of authority to do anything. Whether they're president or whether they're vice president, whether they're the governor, you don't really have that kind of authority. But if you're in business, if you're a director or the president of a business or supervisor, whatever, if you're in a leadership position where you actually get to make rules and you can make change, now you're really doing something. But there's one thing you have to do to be a good leader. This is the start. Sure, there's things later on that you have to understand, but this is the very first thing. And that first thing is listen. You have to listen to people. You have to listen honestly. You have to listen thoroughly. You have to be able to decipher if they're actually telling you the real thing that they want to talk to you about. And then you need to do something about it. Doesn't mean that you always going to give them what they want, but you at least have to be able to respond to it. Maybe not even right then and there. It may take you a day. It may take you a couple of weeks, but you owe people a response. And here's what I mean by that. I have been a leader in a lot of different places. As a consultant, I've sometimes gone into a place where now I'm going to be the leader for some period of time. And one of the things that I've always done is I have met with people. Sometimes if the group is small enough, I've met with individual people first. Sometimes I've met with departments first, but I've always met with them first. And I start off by telling them who I am, what my background is, why I'm there, even when it was full-time employment, why I'm there. Most of the time they knew, yep, you're here replacing so-and-so, whatever. And then I say, okay, tell me about your situation. What is going on with you guys? Are you guys doing good? Are you not doing good? Do you feel like you're getting enough support? Are you getting the education you want? What is it that I can help you with? And then I'd listen. I'd have my pad of paper there. I don't know if people still write with pads of paper. Maybe they use the computers. I don't know. I know a lot of people use the laptops. Nah, I'm not doing it. Got my pad of paper there. And I write down the names. And then I want to hear what they have to say. And I do that for a lot of reasons. One, when you're a new leader, unless you've been in that department for a while, you don't necessarily know what's going on. You don't necessarily know what needs to be fixed. You don't need to know what people need to be trained on. You need to know what their relationship might be with people in other departments. If you're talking about one department in general, usually they're not going to talk about the person that they work with because that's a different issue. But they may talk about the problems that they have working their particular job. And that's good. You want them to talk to you like that. You want them to be open. You need to be authentic when you do that, however, because if they think that you're asking that question so that you can come down on them or you can label them as troublemakers, and they get that feeling that, you're just doing something, you're going to come back and get us later on, they're not going to open up to you at all. But if you genuinely want to help, then you have to listen to them. And then, like I said, you have to do something. For instance, if their issue is money, a lot of times you can't immediately make that change. Sometimes you can. If you think it's something to at least look into, you can do that. I did that at one place where it turned out that I had employees who'd worked longer than some new employees and they were making less money. That's always unfair. So I was able to fix that. That's just common sense. I've had places where I've seen that they haven't had all the resources to do something. I mean, you're telling people to write notes, for instance, and they don't have any pens or pencils to write notes. They have to bring in their own. No, that's just not going to get it done. You have people who you've given them a computer, but they're not sure how to use it because you didn't really teach them how to do it, because a lot of people come into leadership and don't know how to do the job. Yes, that happens in a lot of industries. So you work with people. Once you listen to them, once you can show somebody that you heard them, you listened to them, and you made a change, or at least you looked into it so that you could tell them, okay, this is what I found out, and it turns out we can't do this because of this, but you're open and you're sincere, people will trust you. People will work with you willingly, because nobody wants to work in a sinking ship. Actually, I can't even say that, because that did happen in one place I went to, but that was a union town, union situation in New York City. There was nothing I could do about that. And they ended up closing that hospital 9 months after I was gone. Had nothing to do with me. But in general, the first thing that anyone who wants to be a better leader, wants to be a good leader, and is then ready to grow and expand off of that, is to learn how to listen to people. And by the way, you don't necessarily always have to just be a leader in order to be a good listener, but it's a good step. Anyway, that's the way I see it. Let me know your thoughts. My name is Mitch Mitchell. I hope you all have a wonderful day.